Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, does LeBron James deserve more love in the MVP discussion? Plus, Mark Schlereth explains why he thinks the NFL's new targeting rule is just plain stupid. And could the Browns pull a shocking move and take Baker Mayfield with the top pick in the draft? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Let's start with the Cavs. They've now lost 14 straight games in Miami after getting blown out last night. Early in the game, Kevin Love took an elbow to the face and got a tooth knocked loose. He was evaluated at halftime and did not return to the game because of concussion-like symptoms. LeBron finished with 18 points, and he had his shot blocked twice by his best friend, Dwayne Wade. The Cavs were held to a season-low 79 points. Let's take a listen to LeBron after the loss.
What hurt us more is that now our rotations was kind of just out of disarray. You know, we had a great rotation thing down the last few games, and for a guy to go down there early, it kind of messed that up. So, our rhythm was broke, just right from the beginning.
So, Shannon, is there any cause for concern for the Cavs?
No. And now I love how we block as an official stat here at Undisputed.
What?
You ain't know what? You know what?
Blocks are not an official stat?
Yeah, they are now in the run. So now that's what we read. LeBron has had plenty of games.
They've been an official stat since the beginning of NBA time.
No, they have not.
What are you talking about?
Blocks became an official stat in the late 70s.
What?
You know that too, Skip Bayless.
What?
You know what? But that's okay. No, Skip, here's the thing. I'm going to be kind. The Cavs do not play very good defense. Notice I said I'm going to be kind.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't play defense. They're a three-point shooting team. If you don't play defense and you don't hit threes, you go down by 10, 15 points in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
And that's what happened last night. They were 4 from 26 from the three-point line, 15%. And you say, well, why did they keep shooting them? Because that's what they are. Offensively, that's what they do. LeBron loves to play with one big. Normally, it's Kevin Love. And then he has 3 spot-up shooters. Okay, he drives the ball. They come help, he kick, they miss. The other team goes back down the court, dribble penetration, they get wide open looks. That's what it is. Kevin Love, I don't know what it is, Skip. If there's anything that can go wrong, if there's an injury to be had on the court, it's going to find Kevin Love. Be it his shoulder, be it his knee, his foot. The man takes 7 minutes. He just got back. Elbow to the mouth, and then tooth. Now he's looking like a hockey player. And I knew, I was like, he done. Concussion-like symptoms, he didn't return. No. So like LeBron said, the rotation is messed up. Then they put JR. And I tweeted last night, JR out there GAFing. He don't even care. He came straight from Live. Straight in.
You think he came straight from the game?
Yeah. You saw him, Joy. You saw him.
Oof.
I don't know.
At some point in time, JR, you got to stop bull jiving.
Yeah.
And he wonder why his minutes are diminishing. Because you get out there, you act like you don't even care.
Well, he didn't play a whole lot.
Yeah, that's too much. How much he play? How many minutes?
16.
That's too many. That was 16 too many. Coming straight up out the club.
Took only 4 shots.
That's too many.
Made 1.
Well, I know. I'm not concerned. This is what they are, and this is what we've seen. Skip, when we watch the Cavaliers play, this is what we know. When they lose, they normally lose big. When they play bad, they look god-awful. And that's what happens when you don't play defense and you're a three-point shooting team. Because when those shots don't go in, you shoot 4 for 26, you're going to be down in the blink of an eye. And that's what they were. And I'm like, 18? LeBron normally have 18 in the first half. They got 18 in the first quarter, 16 in the second quarter, so 34 points. What do you think you're going to be scoring 34 points? Even if you get to 70 points in the second half, that's only 104. Nah. So, but I'm not concerned, and neither should you be.
You're telling me what to say now.
Yeah, no. You can say whatever you want, but as long as that guy, you know it.
I know him. Yeah. I couldn't recognize him last night, but I know him. And that was a bit of an aberration game. I will give you that. And I'll give you this. They went a day early to South Beach, and it's a bad recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
We know what happens in South Beach, and maybe LeBron.
No, LeBron.
Maybe he went to live a couple nights.
No,
I don't know.
No.
You don't think so?
He was at the hotel, Sonny.
Was he?
On Instagram.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So you realize they've lost, 14 in a row now, the Cavs have in Miami? Maybe it's a South Beach syndrome that goes on. I don't know. But you're telling me also that LeBron James is nothing without Love, right? Nothing without Kevin Love.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, I think that's-
Love was not in the air, but here's the thing. Skip. Okay, Kevin
Love was on the ground, right?
Oh, you proud of that, Skip?
Yeah.
Kevin Love is the second option. Okay, Kevin Love goes down. You're going to ask guys on every other team they've ever played, be it Rodney Hood, George Hill, or Jeff Green, they've been the third option at best.
Yeah.
So now you're asking third options to be two. You're asking fourth and fifth. Rotational players at every other stop they've been at to now play heavy minutes and contribute heavily. And that's not going to happen on a regular basis. I'm not concerned. LeBron didn't play particularly well last night. He didn't shoot the ball well. I mean, the other night he shot 70% from the floor. Where they do that at? LeBron does. He had an off night. They had a very off night. But I'm not concerned. Watch what they do to Charlotte tonight, because you know what LeBron does when he go to Charlotte. Who owns Charlotte?
Okay, but Kevin Love is in concussion protocol now, and I'm going to guess that he will not play tonight at Charlotte.
No.
So LeBron is nothing without Love.
Stop.
I don't know.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. He just won Western Conference Player of the Month for February. Eastern Conference.
You wish Western.
He'd do that too if you go over there. You keep poking at him. Skip.
I'm poking.
The Bears hibernating.
Yep.
Let him sleep now.
Do you realize his team is only a half game ahead of the Sixers and the Pacers? For the third, they're just a half game up in the third slot. They could fall to 4. They could fall to 5.
Didn't LeBron tell you?
Doesn't
You don't
matter.
care first seed, third seed, 8th seed, mustard seed, pumpkin seed, sunflower seed.
Okay.
If LeBron James is in the playoffs, Skip, he told you when he comes to your building, you know what to expect.
Okay. So I'm going to give you this. Last night, I could tell from the tip.
Yeah.
They just didn't feel like playing. For whatever reason, South Beach Syndrome, whatever it was, just one of those doldrum games at the end of the year, just winding it down, waiting for the real games to start. They were not ready to play basketball last night, and you could see it in the first quarter. And to your three-point case, they go 0 for 4 from 3 in the first quarter, and Miami makes 4 out of 8, and it's game over. It's just over. It's 29-18 at the quarter, and that's it. Ball game.
Right.
Okay? Got it. But couple of interesting takeaways I have. Number one, just from a technical standpoint, Miami talked after the game about how they just pack the paint against LeBron. Well, I'm surprised nobody else packs the paint. The East still doesn't get how to play LeBron.
Well, you can pack the paint when they're not making threes. You can pack the paint. Pack the paint when they're knocking down those shots.
That's fair, but I'm going to take away the first option first. That's the Bill Belichick way, right? The Patriot way is take away what you do best. What they do best is LeBron takes it to the rack.
Yeah.
And if you let him get off and running early, if you don't play good transition defense or half-court pack the paint defense, this was the Spurs mantra against LeBron every time they played in the finals was, just don't give him the rim. Don't let him dunk it. Don't let him even get clean to the rim.
Well, the Heat had 8 guys in the paint. The Heat had 8 guys in the paint.
Oh.
I let you figure out the other 3.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I ain't said nothing.
I think somebody used that on sitting over there.
Yeah.
I think
You
that
talk
was
about they packed the
I think it was
paint.
Jason Terry. But that is the way to defend LeBron. That's what I would do. I'd say, I'm taking away the big fella first.
Good.
And if you guys make all your threes, good for you. Congratulations, you win the game. But a lot of nights, they don't make all their threes. And I'm not sure they're exactly Golden State shooting the 3.
But I'm saying, what are they, third as far as three-point made? They're probably third or fourth in three-point attempted.
Yep.
So you can, see, it's easy to say, oh, I'm just going to take LeBron away. But when they start swishing those threes, oh, no, you can't.
All right, you got me. So now let's go deeper here.
Okay.
The 2 plays in question that we spoke about. To open the show, the 2 blocks from behind by Dwayne Wade. Now I'm going to get very serious about those 2 blocks. They were executed by the guy who knows LeBron just about as well as LeBron knows LeBron. And they were poignant and enlightening because this is the guy LeBron trusts the most on a basketball court is Dwayne Wade. I think Dwayne taught him how to win, as you well know, in Miami. They flamed out the first time around, and then they broke through against Oklahoma City, and they broke through again against my Spurs, thanks to Ray Allen.
No, thanks to Bron.
Yeah, thanks to Bron. Bron was great in Game 7. I give you that.
6-2.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
But the point is that it was interesting that Dwayne, those are timing blocks. Those are inside job blocks where you know his game as well as he knows his game, and you're going to beat him to his spot before he even gets to the spot because you know what's coming, and you're going to cut him off at the pass, so you blocked him from behind twice.
How much credit you give Kelly Olynyk for fouling him first?
I don't give him any credit. Those are Dwayne Wade classic blocks. And the point is that I believe that LeBron is going to miss Dwayne's presence down the stretch of the playoffs. It may not be until the finals, but I am still shocked that LeBron sat back and let Dwayne go home to Miami. I just can't believe it because remember what happened right here on Undisputed. If we go back to when the Kyrie trade was made, remember Kyrie goes to Boston, and because Gordon Hayward had already signed with Boston, that was August 30th that the trade was executed to Boston.
Correct.
I immediately picked the Celtics to win the East because I'm thinking Gordon Hayward plus Kyrie in Boston. I love that team. And then September 27th, it was only 2 weeks before the start of the season, Dwayne buys his way out and left $8 million on the table in Chicago. Remember this? And he is sought heavily by the Spurs, the Thunder, and Golden State. So 3 really good teams wanted Dwayne, and what did he choose to do?
Go to Cleveland.
He went to Cleveland.
Yeah, because they could promise him the most minutes.
Okay, I don't know about the minutes. They couldn't promise him any money because he took the veteran minimum, and they had to jettison Richard Jefferson, who was very popular in the locker room, obviously. And all of a sudden, it's Dwayne, and they go back and forth. Should he start? Should he come off the bench? And JR is out of sync, and he's still out of whack psychologically over all that. So then Dwayne decides, okay, I will come off the bench. And remember what happened in late November into December? They go on an 18-1 run. 18-1? They won 18 and 19 games, and the leader of the shock troops was Dwayne Wade. And the closer for the team in many cases was Dwayne Wade. And I thought, wow, that looks like a basketball team to me. And then all of a sudden this happened and that injury happened and Kevin Love happened, and they make all the boom, boom, boom trades at the deadline, but it requires, they need an extra roster spot, probably for Rodney Hood, and they have to ship Dwayne, which was a nice PR move, back to Joy's team, right? Okay, and he's not there anymore, and I'm going to tell you, I think LeBron is going to miss him dearly.
Skip, D. Wade is not that guy. You keep going back to 2006. D. Wade is not that guy. Do you remember last year? They were up 2-0 on the Boston Celtics. Rajon Rondo injures his thumb. They got Jimmy Butler and D. Wade. Can you tell the people at home that didn't follow that series closely what happened? They lost 4 straight.
I don't really care what happened last year. I can tell you that during the 18-1 stretch for the Cleveland Cavaliers this year, Dwayne Wade was a plus 15.5, which is high because the numbers.
What was LeBron?
Look at the numbers. LeBron's plus 9 for the whole year. Which
No,
is
what
the lowest
during that
of his career.
During that streak?
I don't know. Why don't you have your guy?
No,
Look
don't do that. No,
Look it up.
Skip.
Look it up.
Because here's the thing, you keep jettisoning back. D. Wade hasn't been that guy in a
During
very
that
long
stretch,
time.
Dwayne Wade made 45% of his three-point shots. He averaged 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Pretty good numbers for being the leader of the bench group, right? Yeah. And the point is, LeBron at that point was making a big case that Dwayne Wade was the 6th man of the year over Ginobili, over Eric Gordon, over Iguodala, that Dwayne Wade should be the 6th man of the year. That's in December, so it was a long time ago. But now I'm shocked that Dwayne went back to Miami, and now I'll throw this one at you. I have a source very close to Dwayne Wade and very close to Pat Riley who continues to tell me that they believe in Miami that LeBron will be very interested in going back to Miami next year and that Pat Riley has cleared the decks for it to happen. They're going to have the cap space, and my first question to my source was, wait a second. LeBron could make peace with Pat Riley because they obviously did not end well, as Joy knows all too well. And my source says that the peace has been made, that LeBron is totally okay with Pat Riley and that he still loves, he wore his South Beach sneakers
nice.
night.
They were nice.
Nice, those teal.
Yeah.
Look, right?
Well, hell, the way I look at it, Skip,
Yep.
if he can make peace with Dan Gilbert, he can make peace with anybody.
You could be right about that. Do I see it? I mean,
No,
it seems
I
a
don't.
little far-fetched to me, but there's Whiteside and there's Dragic and there's
Whiteside plays like 30 games a year.
I don't know. He didn't play last night. That's another point against your case that you're making that it's no cause for concern, but there wasn't even any Whiteside last night.
Well, when they had Whiteside, they beat him by 30. You remember when they came to Cleveland and LeBron got tossed because he got a foul call and they didn't call it? You remember that game?
Okay.
When Kevin Love was on fire. He had like 18 points in the first quarter.
Do I think LeBron James still has a big, warm place in his heart for the city of Miami? I do, because what happened? He won his first 2 rings there.
Yeah.
You don't think that matters?
Oh, yeah. You never forget your first love. Yeah, you remember. I mean, you just go back, you're like, man. You thinking to yourself, you're sitting on the.
Well, yeah, that and LeBron is always in Miami anyway.
We always in L.A. He always in L.A. But Skip, let's be 100%. D. Wade hadn't been that guy. D. Wade is not what LeBron needs come playoff time, which is a knockdown 3-point shooter.
You know what I love about Dwayne Wade? Even now, at age 36, when it's time to make a play, he just keeps making plays. He's been making a bunch of plays for this Heat team.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. If he was that guy, why haven't the Heat gone further in the playoffs when he was on their roster? Why was it when LeBron left, they got in the lottery? I'm trying to understand that if he's that guy. Now, they had the Boston Celtics down 0-2, and in Game 6, elimination game, D. Wade was 1 for 10 for 2 points. Now he's that guy.
To your point, LeBron, in a shock to the world, left Dwayne high and dry to go home to Cleveland, right?
Yeah, well, he didn't leave him high and
Yes,
dry.
he did.
Told him. He told him.
He told him the night before on a plane ride going back.
But that's when we came to the realization. I mean, we were moving pieces around still.
I thought that bridge was burned
No.
that night, but it was not.
Skip, we were friends before this. At the end of the day, our friendship, we're going to remain friends. But I got to do what's in the best interest of me, not what's in the best interest of my friendship with you. And so D. Wade understood that, Skip Bayless. But look, I get it. They looked bad last night. But do you actually think LeBron James is going to allow this to happen twice in a row? And D. Wade couldn't get the minutes. They were bringing in Jordan Clarkson, who could give them those kind of minutes and that kind of point production off the bench. They were bringing in Rodney Hood. They were bringing in George Hill. So the minutes that and they told him this. They say, D. Wade, we're bringing these guys in, and your minutes are going to get drastically reduced. What we can do, we can send you back home. They ran it by Bron. Bron, what you think? D. Wade ran it by Bron. Bro, go home. Go home. That's what he did. That's where he belongs. He belongs in a Miami Heat uniform. He should have never left. But Pat Riley was dilly-dallying around. The man done took pay cut to get LeBron, took pay cuts to get Chris Bosh, took pay cut. And now when it's time to come pay him, okay, you said you were saving all this money for Kevin Durant. Once Kevin Durant didn't go there, give me my cheese.
So LeBron sat back at the trade deadline and said, Rodney Hood or Dwayne Wade? Oh, give me Rodney Hood. Younger, hotter. He makes those big threes down the stretch for the Utah Jazz. You're going to miss him. You're going to miss him off the court.
To what LeBron, how the style he likes to play. He likes to come downhill. You come to help. He's going to kick. And that's the only reason he had 7 assists last night. They were missing wide open looks. But, Skip, here's the thing I don't think they factored into it. There's a big difference when you're on a team and there's no championship aspirations. Now, you look at George Hill when he played in Indy and when he played in Utah and what he was doing in Sacramento. And those same shots that he was knocking down with great regularity, all of a sudden, they're finding the rim.
Trust me, George Hill played in a whole bunch of big games for the San Antonio Spurs, a whole bunch. And I never loved him, and I told you that the first day this trade came down. I never loved him.
There's a lot of it when the expectations, when people expect you to make those shots, that's a different ball game. See, everybody can't play it. We've seen guys skip in mop-up duty. They come in every time mop-up, and they get 10, 15 points. You're like, ooh, man, if he were to get more minutes, he'd really be cooking.
I thought you loved these trades.
I do.
You were doing handsprings in your chair.
I do. I'm trying to explain to you what's going on. But LeBron has faith. Talked to him last night. He said, Shay, I still believe in him. I'm still going to find him in them short porches over there in the corner that we call in the corner, short porches. We're going to find him over there. He going to knock it down. Now, you remember Kyle Korver's still dealing. He's on the bereavement list because of his brother.
Yep.
And it's going to take some time for him to get back. But he's going to come back, and he's going to make those shots. JR going to get further down on the bench.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're down and out on JR.
If anybody, you go back and look, when JR comes in the game and you look and see who scores the first points, I guarantee you.
Yeah, you've been out on Tristan. He had 13 boards last night. That'll work, right? 13.
Stop.
That was a game high 13.
Stop.
What do you mean stop?
Stop. No.
Yes.
I want Larry Nance Jr.
You do, really?
Yeah, I want him playing more.
Larry Nance Jr., he was quiet. Well, he had 10 rebounds.
10 rebounds. I mean, he's coming off that hamstring, so he's on a minutes restriction.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's working his way back into it now. Well, we're gonna need Tristan and Larry because they got to keep D. Howard off the board because he's had 31 games, and 20 another. So, but you know what?
Wait, LeBron's going to guard Kimba, right?
It's hard. It's hard to get rebounds when you swishing the nets.
Well, you may not think that Wade is that guy, but Wade is a winner and in a big spot. He's a guy that I would want.
Well, was Game 6 of elimination, was that not a big spot?
Yeah.
Well, losing 4 straight, was that not a big spot?
LeBron has a couple games like that. Where
I'm just trying to figure. All I know is an elimination game. Look at the.
All I know is that LeBron James went to join forces with Dwayne Wade so that Dwayne could teach him how to win basketball games at the highest level. That's what happened. Period. End of story. Way to go, big brother.
And how many times have D Wade gone to the Eastern
That's
Conference Finals?
that's not a diss. That's a fact. They've said that's what happened. And then Wade turned the team over to him, and then they won 2 championships. And then Joy got to ride in the parade.
I mean, you turn the team over.
I
to
really,
him.
I really hope that your source is correct, but I got to tell you, Skip, I can't allow myself to hope.
No, why you want LeBron? Why you want his pettiness back in Miami?
I'll take LeBron back.
No, we ain't going back.
What do you mean we?
We? What part about we? Shannon Sharpe and LeBron James are a package deal.
Well, yeah, you might not be allowed in Miami.
No,
right now.
you're not.
So it might not be a package
no,
deal,
we're
but
not
LeBron
going
is
back.
welcome back.
No mercy.
James Harden is expected to win the MVP award this season, and he could even be a unanimous choice. But LeBron James has someone else in mind if he had a vote. Himself. LeBron said, I would vote for me. The body of work, how I'm doing it, what's been happening with our team all year long, how we've got so many injuries and things of that nature, guys in and out to be able to still keep this thing afloat. I would definitely vote for me. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Steven Jackson. Welcome.
Stacks, I ain't trying to hit his fool, his big Stacks. Don't come up here with it.
I know somebody else will vote for him.
Like 100 times,
Exactly.
like fan votes where you just keep.
I'm stuffing the ballot box.
Computer's a computer.
Do you like that LeBron said this?
I'm not surprised. I said this earlier. He's the only superstar that has to be told he's great. He's been patting himself on the back all year. This is the first year he's done that, so I don't know what's going on. But you know, even after the game where he posted his stats and said, "I'm just doing my part," all this stuff. This is the first time that I've seen him do this. I don't know what it is, why he's doing it, but I'm not surprised. But players been selling themselves for the last couple of years. Look at All-Star. Ever since social media's been big in the NBA, a lot of guys been promoting themselves, make All-Star, all kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised, but the best player in the league, the best player in the game, the star, this is new to me that he promotes himself so much. When we all know he's great. We pat him on the back enough. No. You pat him on the back enough. So he shouldn't have to pat.
But I have to excessively heat praise because somebody across from me always trying to find a reason.
Trying to tell the truth?
No, you ain't telling no truth. Yeah, I got no problem with what he said because he ain't lying. You make it seem like he lied.
He ain't lying.
No, he ain't lying. And Skip, the term that you like to use, I think 2018, you like to use the term degree of difficulty. And what he's been able to do. Think about this. Stacks, 11 days ago against the Chicago Bulls, this was LeBron James' starting lineup. Jeff Green, Jose Calderon, George Hill, and Ante Zizic. That's what he started with. Yeah, that's what he went to battle with.
Do you want me to give the Bulls starting lineup?
That's what he went to battle with.
It probably was worse.
That's why they're in the lottery. But this team, the 3rd seed in the East. And if you look at it, and people are like, whoa, LeBron is averaging 3 fewer points, but LeBron is averaging more rebounds, more assists, shoots 10% higher from the field goal, 37. James Harden from the 3. LeBron is 36. And Harden takes 10, LeBron 6. So it's not as far-fetched as one would think. I don't have no problem. See, they always say, I want the athlete to be honest. Why don't you tell the truth? Don't give us that, oh, golly shucks, gee whiz. And the man tell you, yeah, I need it. I should be it. But people like some people I know, you too, Stacks. No, you ain't getting up out of here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Don't want to give that man his credit. I told you. Barney Porter told me, said, boy, you don't need nobody to pat you on the back as long as you got two good hands.
Right.
Pat yourself on the back. And LeBron is doing it. Doing a good job of it, too. Watch what he do tonight. Bet he have a triple dub.
You know what my mom always told
What'd
me?
she say?
You're going to break your arm trying to pat yourself on the back. You ever hear that one?
Yeah.
So I want to repeat what the great Steven Jackson just said a moment ago. He's the only superstar that has to be told he's great. The only superstar. And that's true. I've been telling you that all year. He is the biggest self-promoter in the history of sports at the highest level. And he is at the highest level. We all get that and know that, but that's for us to decide, not for him to tell us to decide.
Sometimes you forget. You know, don't tell me. But then when you forget, why don't you tell me?
15 years?
Yeah. Y'all
You've been told every year for 15 years. That's not enough?
So I'm going to take this seriously because offensively, he is off the charts. And he's trying to make a statement that in year 15, no one has ever done this. And I give you that. Does that make him the MVP of the league? No.
Not at all.
But he is blazing new territory. He's setting a new standard for a year 15 player that I've never seen before. And he looks sensational. His body, it looks like it's the best it's ever been. I give you all that.
So let me ask you a question. If he had, let's just say he had a C.J. McCollum all year, or he had a Chris Paul all year, where would LeBron James be?
We can't do that. We got to deal with the task at hand.
Well, so he needs to be MVP then.
Wait a second.
The biggest thing is they need to worry about losing games with Kelly Olynyk being the leading scorer going into the playoffs. That's the bigger picture.
We don't worry about no seed. Didn't I tell you about that seed?
Bigger picture.
It could be a mustard seed, a pumpkin seed.
Yeah.
And LeBron James will take that and a bottle of water and make it grow into the Eastern Conference Finals and see the Houston Rockets in the NBA Finals.
Wait.
That's what he can do.
Wait, LeBron James' team got bullied by Man Bun last night?
Yeah.
By Kelly Olynyk?
Yeah.
He just dominated
Mickey,
the game.
I thought somebody might have
Mickey?
slipped him a Mickey or something the way they were playing out there.
Debo, Kevin Love,
Yeah, you
fold
see-
you in
and
the mouth, get you out of here.
What?
And they wouldn't call no fouls on LeBron, but you see when LeBron put that bow in Tyler Johnson's throat, they backed up off him. They backed up off. That's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to just go out there like this here.
So if LeBron had even more all-star help, then he wouldn't be able to stuff the stat sheet.
Yes,
like
he
he's
would.
been stuffing it. And he's been stuffing it on a nightly basis.
He had Kyrie last year and set career highs in rebounds and assists.
Well, he's now setting new career
Yeah!
highs in rebounds and assists. And he's second in the league in assists. And he's a career best 16 triple-doubles and a career best 45 double-doubles. Sensational.
Sensational.
Okay? He is third in PER, which is not sensational because he's won PER, that's player efficiency rating, 6 times in his career.
Yeah.
This is just a middling year for him
How
in
many
PER.
guys in year 15 have been third in PER?
Well, that's the point. And that's the only point you
go
can make.
to give him that warning.
Okay, but that's all. Are we doing it in year 15 or are you the best player
Let me ask
in
you
the
a
league?
question. Since you're talking about he ain't playing defense.
Wait, why don't we create a new award that'll be who's the MVP of the year 15 players? Oh, I'll give it to LeBron.
Oh, that's what you did for Tom
you
Brady?
Can have that.
That's what you did
I
for Tom
did not.
Brady? Yeah,
he
you
won,
gave it to
He won the whole award for the whole league. The
I know.
22-year-olds they're eligible for that award.
Well, let me ask you, if you don't mind me asking, who played better defense, LeBron or James Harden?
Neither.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
In defensive win shares right now, James Harden ranks 35th in the league, which is pretty high.
That's Bobo.
35.
You know that's a Bobo
He
stat,
does because
Zach.
he's a career high in steals of 1.8, almost 2 steals a game for James Harden. LeBron James has now plummeted to 346th in individual defensive
He only
play.
dropped 2 spots last night after that performance?
Yeah, 346.
He always been good at blocking shots, on ball defending. Yeah. Neither one of them good.
So check this out. In plus minus for the year, James Harden is plus 518, which is just off the charts, as is Houston's
Yeah,
record.
they ain't lost for 14 games. What you expect them to
61
be?
and 14.
That's why he's the MVP.
Plus 518.
What's LeBron?
LeBron for the whole year is plus 9. Plus 9?
Yeah.
That's like a 500 rating. That's like, well, what you are is you're 44 and 30, and you're only a half game ahead of the Sixers and the Pacers in the 3rd slot. So you could fall to the 5th slot tonight.
You
could.
I bet you ain't nobody. Ooh, man, I sure hope I get the Cavaliers in the first round. Who's saying that, Skip?
I don't
Who's saying
know.
that, Stacks? Who you think saying that? Oh, I want LeBron James in my building round one.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cleveland don't want the Bucks first round either.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
So-
the Bucks
They
ain't doing
don't.
that.
So
yeah,
the-
actually, I think didn't Jason Terry say that?
Hold on. They just beat the Bucks 4 times this year.
Yeah.
They 4-1. I hope we get the Bucks. I guarantee
Okay.
a melee.
All right.
Them old hotel vacuums. They get all that. One time over. You ain't got to
So-
one time over.
The man who is promoting himself for MVP is second worst in the NBA in turnovers and a career worst 314 turnovers. And he has the 5th worst free throw percentage of his career. He's only 73% from the free throw line. This man can shoot. He knows that you
can
got
get
to make your
throws.
free
You gotta
throws.
make his free
You gotta make your
He
free
gonna get on
throws.
up there.
What are we down to? Like 6 games left?
Yeah,
you lost your bet. You bet me a whole case of Diet Mountain Dew.
we-
He'd be 80 plus.
Well, he gonna
Oh,
go to
that
hot.
was a bad bet.
He gonna finish over 75%. He gonna get on a hot streak.
You're going to lose the bet
But that's
anyway.
okay. He gonna beat over 75.
The turnover part, I don't really trip on because if you look at the turnovers every year, the top
right.
5 players are always at the top of the turnover.
And look at what he's trying. Look at the pass he's trying to make. Because when he's doing these no looks and he's skipping the ball cross court
Yeah.
and he's going between guys' legs, so he tries things, and that's what good guy. I mean,
He has to, though.
Yeah,
He has to.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. He should be the
So
MVP.
the team LeBron leads has now fallen into a tie for 28, so it's second to last in overall defense. That's not very good, man.
No, they're not a very good defensive team.
Oh.
Skip.
Is it ironic that he's having the best year that he's probably ever had, and he has the worst team? Like, is it possible that he just
No, he has
approaching this season to pad his stats?
No, I mean
Is that possible?
No, he's had worse teams. Did you remember when the first go around in Cleveland? Did you see some of those teams? You played against them.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah,
That was
really bad, real bad,
That was
real.
pretty bad. That pretty- But
And he won how many championships?
The mere fact he got him there. The man got the team to an NBA Finals at 22. The next guy that takes his team to the NBA Finals at 22.
Wait, he lost to Broccoli. How did he lose to Broccoli? He got swept by Broccoli in the finals.
With three Hall of Famers on the roster.
3 Hall of Famers you have no respect for.
The 3
You have
Hall
a
of
little
Famers.
respect
Whoa,
for Tim Duncan.
Whoa, Skip.
But
He don't
Parker
respect
and
Tim
Ginobili,
Duncan.
he's got no respect.
Yeah, but they're Hall of Famers.
all
3
three
Hall of
them.
Famers.
All
Oh,
three
now
of them.
they are. They are for the sake of this conversation.
No, they were. Hold on, wait. Oh, so they weren't before?
Well, I don't think you would put them in your Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Manu Ginobili, you laugh at
The
him.
man was 22 years old. So the next 22-year-old that leads a team to the NBA Finals, y'all let me know. And his name ain't Magic.
He'd been playing for 4 years in this league. He's a veteran.
Hold up. So there are another guys that's been playing for 4 years. Jason Tatum's gonna be 4 years. Yeah.
Jason Tatum's a rookie.
Now I'm saying in 4 years he'll be what? He's 19 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll be 23.
All
So
right.
go and take them Celtics.
Well, he might be in the finals this year. For
Go
all
to
you
the-
know.
Yeah,
Well, he just might.
Cleveland might not.
Yeah. Hey,
Stack.
I'm just
wait,
saying.
one team
Hold on.
plays
You
This is the
defense.
first year I'll ever say that.
Stack. You were supposed to wait for me in my dressing room. You wasn't supposed to start before I got there. He done started before I got there. You know what I'm saying, Joy? That's what I'm talking about. I shouldn't have told him where the merchandise was. He done in the bag before he come out here and talk about, he gonna talk about Jason Tatum gonna lead the Celtics.
Well, I got news for your man LeBron James, but
What is it?
James Harden has run away and hidden from the MVP.
Yeah, he ain't run away, did
They
he?
already gave him the award.
Yeah,
He's at his house
it's
already.
over. It's just over.
Stack, don't
why,
do that.
why would you try to make this late, weak, lame case for yourself?
We ain't making no case. We just doing what we do.
Oh.
We just playing
That is what
basketball.
you do,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all.
He didn't win the MVP a couple times. Excuse me, Skip. He didn't win the MVP a couple times when they had great records.
Yeah, I know.
For sure ain't gonna win it this year.
Yeah, because they gave it to Steph Curry averaging 20 points one year. They should have gave it to LeBron his first year back in Cleveland, but they were mad at him.
Do you
They
realize-
should have gave it to him when they gave it to D Rose.
Yeah.
Because you remember what he did to D Rose?
Who
in that,
was
in
mad
that-
at LeBron for going back to Cleveland?
They were mad at him.
Who?
Because everybody.
Nobody was
Nobody
mad at
was
him.
mad.
Everybody was mad at him.
Miami was mad. That's about it.
With those voters. Just like he should have been that unanimous MVP and some writer gave it to Carmelo. Let's say he shouldn't have been unanimous.
Well, I ain't gonna say that, but he should have got defensive player.
But
Yeah,
yet
when
with
they gave it to Marc
Gasol.
Gasol, guys,
Okay.
yeah.
Now tell the
Then
truth.
he would be right there with Mike if he had that.
Yeah, but they didn't want him to be there right there with Mike, so they shortchanged him.
Oh, they did it?
They did.
Who is they?
You know the writers.
don't know.
That's why I told him not to do the dunk contest.
Oh, please.
Because they wanted to compare him to Mike. I said, don't do it, Bron.
Don't do it?
Nope.
Oh, so you were the one.
Yep.
You're the reason.
Even
he
when
didn't do the
Magic,
dunk contest.
even when Magic said, "I give you a meal," I said,
Yeah.
"No, we can make more money by just sitting there chilling."
So he took Nurkic's life.
Woo!
He never
Body
did a
bag.
dunk contest. He never did a dunk contest.
Oh, got Joe Harris too on Sunday.
Got Joe
he
Harris,
body
but
bagged him.
never a dunk contest.
Oh, got Jason Terry,
Oh.
And got blocked by Wade twice last night.
Kelly Olynyk.
No mercy.
Colin Kaepernick is still a free agent and has not played in the NFL in over a year. Yesterday, new Raiders coach John Gruden gave his opinion on Kaepernick. Let's take a listen.
I think there's a lot of intrigue there. His performance on the field wasn't very good. On tape, I think Robert Griffin, a Rookie of the Year, surprised he's out there. Tim Tebow takes a team to the playoffs. There's some surprise that he never came back. You know, Johnny Manziel, he's out there. Back to Kaepernick. You know, he got beat out by Gabbert to start the season. I think that says something. I am surprised he's not in camp with somebody. Probably will be soon.
Shannon, what's Gruden saying here?
Skip, in the time that I've done this show with you, I've tried to show great deference to head coaches. Played this game, I understand that what they go through. But I'm tired of these two-faced ass coaches getting on television and lying. John Gruden knows well why Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL. It's because of his anthem protest. And if he was man enough to go ahead and say it, it's because of his anthem protest, and I don't want the backlash from our fan base or our ownership, I can live with that. But don't try to play two sides of the camps. Don't say there is intrigue. There is no intrigue, John Gruden. You know it. First of all, you say, oh, there's some intrigue and Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow got 3 other chances. He went to the Jets. Now, whether or not you believe they were realistic chances, he was on the Jets roster, he was on New England's roster, he was on Philly. Robert Griffin III got another opportunity with the Cleveland Browns. Colin Kaepernick have yet to receive that opportunity. So stop with that foolishness. Are you trying to tell me Josh Johnson, who you drafted out of San Diego in 2008, is better than Colin Kaepernick because he's on your roster? Are you telling me Connor Cook and E.J. Manuel are better than Colin Kaepernick because they're on their roster? You see, Skip, what he's doing, he's talking out of both sides of his neck. He's trying to appease 2 different groups. The group that says, I know Colin Kaepernick deserves to be in the NFL. And then he says, well, he did get beat out by Blaine Gabbert. But here's some context, John Gruden, because this is what you didn't say. That season in 2015, Colin Kaepernick had labrum surgery on his left arm. In January of 2016, he had thumb surgery on his throwing hand and knee surgery. Now, right before the championship game, we had a whole big to-do about a thumb, Joey. Colin Kaepernick had, now, in the process of him having labrum surgery, thumb surgery, and knee surgery, Skip, he lost about 30 pounds. The thing that made Colin Kaepernick most deadly was he was 6'4", weighed 230 pounds, and he could run 4.40. People feared his arm, then they feared his leg. Now, all of a sudden, he looked gaunt. Oh, he's a vegan. Oh, he's fasting. They came up with all these excuses. Tell that. Oh, Blaine Gabbert, he got beat out by Blaine Gabbert. To give it context. And then Blaine Gabbert played 5 games. Colin Kaepernick took over. And in that season, in 2016, Skip, he had only a handful of quarterbacks had a higher touchdown to interception ratio. Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan, Derek Carr. Skip, all 5 of those guys got MVP votes. That's who had a higher touchdown ratio than one Colin Kaepernick. But then he says, he hedges it and talk about the people that don't want Colin Kaepernick in there and hide behind, oh, he didn't play very well. Oh, he doesn't look good on tape. Bull jive. I can go down every roster and I can point, he better than your quarterback, your backup. As a matter of fact, he better than your starter. So John Gruden and these coaches, stop lying. Because moving forward from this day on, if you lying, I'm going to call you a lie. And John Gruden, you are lying.
I agree with your emotion that you just expressed, and I'm certainly with you on Colin Kaepernick. I'm not sure you're reading Gruden right. Gruden is a hardcore, long-time NFL lifer. And I think what he was saying is that this is the not-for-long league. That's what I think he's trying to say here, that this league will turn on you quickly. If you don't play well 1 year, you're just out. For no apparent reason, you can just be out. Like it will quit on you quickly.
So when did Mark Sanchez last play good?
Well,
When
did he ever play well?
Brandon Whedon just got re-signed by the Texans. When has he ever been good?
I thought he was pretty good his rookie year for Cleveland. He had 2 or 3 big games. I thought he was pretty good, actually.
They traded him after the first year.
They
But
did.
okay, go ahead.
No, I'm with you on that. But these are high-profile quarterbacks who flamed out. And he's just sitting back. He's off the top of his head because then he reverses field at the end. He said, but I think he'll be in a camp with somebody, which is like, what?
Skip, that's the same thing everybody says.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll said that's because he's a starter, and that would be beneath him to be a backup. I'm surprised he's not on the roster, but he will be. Okay, you say these guys flamed out, but Skip, they flamed out after their second opportunity, their third opportunities.
Okay.
Johnny Manziel is getting looked at by teams. Now, you tell me that domestic violence is a big issue. You tell me alcohol is a big, drug abuse is a big issue. But what you're telling Colin Kaepernick and the people that believe Colin Kaepernick can play is that what he did, his protest of police brutality is a bigger of a black eye on the league than domestic violence.
I got you. But the key line from John Gruden, who is a tape watcher, trust me on that. Again, you can like him or reject him one way or the other, but he watches a bunch of tape. That he loves to watch. He lives for it, which is why he loved his Monday Night Football gig, because he just sat there day after day after weekday watching tape of the next 2 teams he's going to talk about. His performance, this is from John Gruden, his performance on the field wasn't very good on tape. So John is watching 2015 and 2016 saying, I just don't see the same player on tape. Now, to your point, he was definitely hurt in 2015 going into 16.
Correct.
So he's fighting injuries for both years.
Yes.
It's what happens to players who quarterbacks who run with the football. You start to get a little
Right.
beat up. They weren't career-threatening injuries, but he had too many going on at one time.
Season-threatening
Yes.
and performance-threatening.
No doubt. So the Rocky season is the one under Tom Sula. And remember, he lost his guy. Jim Harbaugh was the guy. This is the man who believes in you, who in midstream that year that they went to the Super Bowl, he said, you know what? I'm done with Alex Smith. I'm going to take you. You're going to be my guy, and you're going to lead us to the promised land. And boy, he came close. Again, I still think that was pass interference in the end zone, but that's just me. So then for whatever happens, it goes completely south between Harbaugh and management, and they push him out the back door. And all of a sudden, Colin's like adrift. He doesn't have his quarterback coach and the guy who believed in him most, and Tom Sula takes over. So it's going to be a rocky year for the whole franchise, right? And under Tom Sula, he starts only 8 games that year, and that was the rocky year. If you look at the tape there, it's not very good.
Right.
And the numbers aren't very good. But then under Chip Kelly in 16, and I brought this up many times, I dare anybody to go put the tape in on those games because I can show you 3 or 4, and they're not a very good, they're 2-14 that year.
Right.
But I can show you against New Orleans, straight up against Drew Brees. Look what happened in that game. 24-39 for 398, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. I dare you to go watch that tape, John.
Or that game against Miami.
At Miami. This is at Miami, and Miami's pretty good at this point. And Colin does 29 of 46 for 296, 3 touchdowns and a pick. And remember, it goes to the last play of the game in which Kiko Alonso makes a play on Colin Kaepernick, right?
Yes.
It's to the goal line.
Yes.
You got to stop him at the goal line.
Correct.
He did. And then at Atlanta against Matt Ryan, 20 of 33 at just 183 on the yardage, but 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It's pretty good It's starting quarterback play. And then he finishes that year. Remember, they only win 2 games. Right. This is one of the 2 they win at the Rams, at the LA Rams. He goes 28 of 37 for 266, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Well, those are good starting quarterback numbers, and you won the game.
16-4.
Right.
But here's the thing, though, Skip, and see, okay, Minnesota Vikings saying, you know what, we're good at every position except quarterback.
Yeah.
Of all those players that were on that team under Thomas Sula and was up under Chip Kelly, how many of those skilled players are still on that roster? How many players are on that offensive team? So you look at the tape and say, oh, well, Colin Kaepernick is bad, but the players around him is good. So John Gruden is trying to make it seem like Colin Kaepernick brought those other players down. Okay, yeah. I give you Colin Kaepernick didn't look like he did when he took the team to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But did he have that same kind of talent around him?
He did not.
Remember, they had started letting those guys go. Potty had left.
Yep.
Crabtree had left.
No doubt.
Vernon Davis was
No
gone.
doubt.
Frank Gore was gone. But see, nobody wants to mention that, Skip.
All you need to mention is that Jim Tom Sula is your head coach.
Thank you.
You got a big problem.
But Skip, this is what I can't understand. They say the NFL is not for long. Josh McCown has been on 10 teams. Josh Johnson, who John Gruden signed out of University of San Diego, is on his 11th team. John drafted him in 2008, Skip. He's now on his roster in 2018.
Yep.
Are you telling me Josh Johnson is better than him? Are you telling me Connor Cook, E.J. Manuel?
No.
E.J. Manuel got beat out, Skip, by Tyrod Taylor as a first-round draft pick.
But I'm pretty sure what Gruden is trying to say is if you look at high profile, like center of attention quarterbacks, as was Robert Griffin III,
Yes.
they traded the sun and the moon to go up to get him at
Right.
the second pick in the draft, and he goes offensive rookie of the year, leads the team obviously from the doldrums into the
Okay, I tell you
division
what.
championship.
If Colin Kaepernick gets a second opportunity, like Robert Griffin
He
III,
got a second opportunity.
if he gets a third opportunity, like Tim Tebow, and he doesn't capitalize on it, I got nothing else to say. But until he receives that opportunity, I've got a lot to say.
All right, so all these situations are unto themselves, and they all have their own nuances, so
Right.
they're all unfair comparisons. But on the Tebow, this is where Tebow does compare to Colin Kaepernick, in my view. He did take over a 1-4 team and lead it all the way to the division championship and wins a home playoff game.
Right.
And then within a year and a half, basically, he's out of football.
Right.
Okay? So to me, where the similarity is, this is just me. This is my point of view. This is as emotional as your point of view. I believe that he got rejected by the NFL because he wears his religion on his sleeve. And it caused problems because it caused problems in the locker room and on the sideline, and it caused a media circus that the coaching staff never could get comfortable with.
Right.
So to me, he never really got a chance because this is what he told me, that Rex Ryan promised him, you'll get a chance to win the starting job from Mark Sanchez that we just talked about. And he believes he never got a chance because he never started another game in the league.
See, John Harbaugh watched tape, Joy. You know what? In his years in Tampa, I happened to be in the media. And the tape on John Harbaugh those last years wasn't very good, Skip. Because
On who?
Tampa, John Gruden.
John Gruden.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I watched tape too. I happened to be in the media at the time, so I was watching tape. And you know, Skip, that Super Bowl, he had 6 more seasons. Six
No,
more.
I
he missed the playoff 4 times.
No, you could make that case.
So we keep talking, and if you notice, has there ever been a coach got more out of a Super Bowl than John Gruden? Because the farther he's gotten away from that Super Bowl win, the more people think he's Bill Walsh. He's Bill Belichick. He was 2 games over 500 in Tampa.
No.
2
No,
after
I got
that
it.
great season in Tampa without think about what he has, Skip. Now, you got Warren Sapp, first ballot Hall of Famer. You got Derrick Brooks, a first ballot Hall of Famer.
did.
John Lynch has been in the finals the last 2 years for the Hall of Fame. You had Simeon Rice, had over 100 sacks. I'm going to see. Because you talk about tape, the tape on you, John Gruden, ain't very good,
I
bro.
agree. Just for the record, he did have a really good Raider team that got tuck ruled in Foxborough.
Yes.
That was a good team. That could have gone on. That was a potential Super Bowl winning team that year. Again, they would have faced the St. Louis Rams in the Super Bowl if they'd gotten there, but they were good enough. But that was the height of his Oakland. And then, to your point, that team had like this much window left, and they won. And then after that, he couldn't find a quarterback. He's never been able to find a
Oh, why not?
I don't know.
All that tape he watched, he can't. Joy, all that tape John Gruden watching, he can't find a quarterback, Skip.
Well, it just would be really nice if people would stop saying that it was Kaepernick's play that's keeping him
Thank
out of
you.
the league.
That's it. Just go ahead and tell me, Skip, it's a
Yep.
protest, and I can live with it, Skip. If you just tell me it's what I'm doing, it's what I did,
Yep.
I can live with it. But don't say, well, man, it's them shoes you be wearing, and sometimes, no, don't do that.
No mercy. The NFL announced a rule change yesterday that will penalize players for lowering their head to initiate contact with the helmet. It will now be a 15-yard penalty and a possible ejection. The rule applies to ball carriers, defenders, and even linemen. The chairman of the competition committee, Rich McKay, said the rule will make the game safer. Many players spoke out against it. Richard Sherman said, quote, "It's ridiculous, like telling a driver if you touch the lane lines, you're getting a ticket. It's going to lead to more lower extremity injuries." We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Mark Schlereth. Welcome, Stink. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
How bad is this rule?
This is as dumb. This is the stupidest rule like I have ever heard. Just when you think they're making some progress by changing the catch rule back to something that actually makes sense, you're going to add a rule like this, or you want to add a rule like this, where, one, it's completely subjective. Two, that kind of helmet-to-helmet contact happens on every single play on the line of scrimmage. Anytime you run the ball, there's a potential of throwing a flag. Right. I mean, think about this. Think about just standard plays. Quarterback sneak. What does a quarterback do? Do he lower his head and lead with his head? Every single time, right? Now, you're going to throw out Tom Brady on a quarterback sneak if he lowers his head and runs into a defensive lineman? How about your running back in goal line and short yardage situations? Are we going to continue to devalue the position of running back because now all of a sudden we're saying, hey, we can't run it on goal line short yardage because we can't risk the potential of a 15-yard penalty. So now let's throw it 80% of the time instead of 65% of the time. Like, this is such a stupid rule. You cannot eliminate this. And under the guise of player safety, like, come on, stop with the player safety. This is a rule where hopefully you never throw a flag. Hopefully you never implement it. Hopefully this is just to say, hey, look, Mom and Dad, America, we care about your kids and we want them to continue to play football. But the bottom line for me is there is no way that you can put this rule in and not have a completely adverse effect on the game that we know as football. You're absolutely killing the game. You truly want to affect player safety? Make every contract that you sign with your players 100% guaranteed. That way, if I have a head trauma or a head injury, I can sit out for 2 or 3 weeks, get myself right, and not worry about losing my job. Right? You want to completely affect player safety? Make sure that every player, from the time he gets done playing until the end of his life, that he has health insurance. Like, if we really want to change the rules and really want to affect this game from a positive standpoint, let's put things in that actually matter. This is stupid. This is a rule made by people that have never played football. And it's completely, there is no way to eliminate all helmet-to-helmet contact out of this game. There just isn't.
I just want to know one thing, Skip. How are they going to tackle somebody? If it's 3rd and 2, or if it's 4th and 1, I need to get that first down. What am I supposed to do?
Arm tackle him.
So I guess I'm just like, instead of trying to split the two defenders, Skip and Mark, I guess I'm just, hey, son, get that first down. Hey, I can't lower my head. If I lower my head, it's going to cost you 15 yards, so now it's going to be 4th and 17, or it's going to be 3rd and 17. This is so, I want to know. Of all the things you could have been sitting in the room and discussing, who started to say, you know what, guys, I think, you know what we ought to do? We ought to take all head contact out of the game. So offensive and defensive linemen, I need y'all to stand straight up and chest bump. Because I can assure you, when you that close, Skip, and you running the football, the first thing hit is your helmet to another guy's helmet.
Every play.
Every single play. I didn't do a whole lot of blocking, but the little bit I did do, I got a couple scars on my face mask and on my helmet. Skip, this is such a dumb rule. Nobody, no fan, nobody that's playing, you will not find a form. It's hard, I should say all, but it's going to be hard for me to believe that you'll get a lot of support from the players, past or current, that think this is a very good rule.
So, the NFL says concussions were up last year. Head injuries were up last year. Spine injuries were up last year, says the NFL. So, the NFL basically said, let's do what college football does. Let's have a sort of a spearing rule where if you lower your head either way, offense to defense or defense to offense, you're ejected. That's what they're saying. You're going to be ejected from the game. So I watch a whole lot of college football, and it is endless, man. It goes, you have to make a 4-hour commitment to watch a college football game. And this is in part why. Because it seems like every few minutes we have to stop down to say, is that spearing?
Right.
Is that did he lower his head or not? And it goes on for like 10 or 12 minutes because it's hard to figure it out. It's a close call because you're going to eject said player. And he might be the star of the show, but they're going to eject him. Really? So all the gnashing of teeth that we just eliminated by clarifying the catch rule is going to be reinstated over this rule, right? And it's to pacify, it's a concession to that segment of the fandom who won't let their kids play football because they say it's too dangerous. So they're saying, well, we're going to take some of the danger out of it with this rule. And it's also protection against future litigation from the players, right? That's what they're doing.
Skip, this is an inherently dangerous game. The human body was not made to be run into each other. And especially as the men get bigger and faster, you're going to have collision. Just like bull riding. It's an inherently, you can only make the game so safe. But you got a 155-pound man on the back of a 1-ton animal. So what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong if you got a 250 man that can run 4.4 running into a man that can run 4.3? What could possibly go wrong at a distance of 10 yards, 15 yards? This is so utterly ridiculous.
Mark, what are you up to now? 29 surgeries?
Yeah.
Yeah, 29, and I think you need maybe a 30th, right?
Oh, I could use a couple.
Maybe a couple more?
Yeah, eventually have your knees replaced. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, it's not if, it's when you get hurt. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get injured. And the bottom line is you're going to do irreparable damage to your body.
Yes.
And let's embrace that. And let's embrace the fact that there's only 1,500 people in the world that can play this game.
Yeah.
The hand of God has reached down and said you're going to be, you're going to win the genetic lottery and you're going to be able to play, and that you're crazy enough to play it.
You have to have one loose
Right,
screw.
right.
You just do. Yeah.
And like, to me, I'm okay with that. But to throw rules like this out there, to act like you're gonna change, like all of a sudden we're gonna change, and the concussions won't be a thing, or they'll be a thing of the past.
Yeah.
The 291 concussions that they talked about, could it be that you actually are being a little bit more careful with players? Like, has it changed? Give me context. Because in 2015, it wasn't the same. We didn't approach it the same way we did last year. So maybe maybe it just wasn't being reported as much in 2015. It's being reported more now. There's not really an increase in concussions.
Are you over-diagnosing the concussions? Are you going too far to say, oh, you're borderline protocol?
Do you know when I came in the league in 1989, there was no such thing as a concussion? Do you know that we didn't do
You got your bell rung.
Right. We didn't do a baseline test. You know that in 12 years of playing, so I played in 3 decades. I played in the 80s, I played in the 90s, I played in the aughts, right? Do you know that I never once took a baseline test? There was no baseline test?
No.
Do you believe you had a concussion?
Shoot, I knocked myself out every game. There wasn't a game that I didn't black out for a minute. Where I woke up on the ground and went like, whoa, that was a good one. Or saw stars. Yeah, of course I've had multiple concussions. Absolutely.
But and see, what happens, Skip, is that in one of the biggest games of the season, they see Ryan Shazier rams his helmet into somebody's back, but if you look at the hit that ended my brother's career, he caught a simple pass, Skip. He turns upfield. Thomas Everett shoulder pads, glances face mask. He lays down. He stumbles a little bit. He walks off the field and never plays another down.
But that was spine, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
But it's just freaky. So think about.
Was Thomas Everett Pittsburgh?
He was at Tampa at the time.
Tampa, okay.
Before he went to Dallas.
Okay.
But you think about that. I mean, for all those Ryan Shazier hits, they've been 10,000 of those last year.
Agreed.
You think?
Here's the other thing. You know what? There'll be 6 games going on simultaneously, right? One game, that hit or a hit will be penalized.
Right.
And in 5 others, it won't.
Right.
And so from a consistency standpoint, there is no way to get any consistency, any standard on this stupid rule. And that's what it is. It's a stupid rule.
If I'm a defensive line, I'm going to stand straight up. I ain't going to get no stand. And let him put it. Hey, you see what he did? He put his hand about. He led with his hand. Throw the flag. I ain't getting no stand.
I don't see it happen in the
Exactly.
trench warfare. They let that go.
Right.
It has to happen in the open field.
And I do remember one time they called a penalty on Adrian Peterson against Cleveland. He in the open field. But that's what running backs do. They don't want to take the contact. They want to dole out the punishment. But come on, NFL. I mean, you were doing a good thing. You clarified the catch rule. He must maintain possession throughout the entirety of the act, and you got to do all this and all that. You had cleaned it up, had it nice little package. I was like, ooh, Skip gonna be so happy.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad's catch was a catch.
It was a catch.
Not in 2014, 2018 it was a catch.
Yeah.
But that was 2014, so it didn't matter. Ooh, Skip gonna be so. Helmet out of it. Man, y'all
What?
Well,
we
this is
go.
from ESPN. The NFL will spend the next 2 months further developing the rule and will likely alter it to address replay and ejections at its May 21st through 23rd meetings in Atlanta. So
What in slow motion doesn't look bad? I mean, somebody just chewing normal. If you get somebody eating, you slow it down like, man, your mouth is really open. I can see everything looks bad in slow motion.
To Skip's point, I mean, replay can already eat up time of watching the game. This will be.
Oh, these are going to be endless because this is really hard to decipher. Should we eject him?
And there's a lot on the line. There's money. There's game-altering decisions. So
No mercy.
Baker Mayfield is projected to be one of the top quarterbacks selected in the NFL draft next month. The Browns have the #1 and #4 overall picks. And yesterday, Hugh Jackson did not say who the Browns were taking, but he did give an interesting analogy to praise Mayfield's leadership skills. Let's take a listen.
He is important in the community. I think he's important to his teammates. I kind of feel like he's a Pied Piper of Oklahoma football. You know, the workout, I will share this with you. When we walked into the building, he made this sound. He just kind of came out of nowhere. He kind of went, hee. And all the players in the building started going, hee. I mean, and here they go. I mean, it's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. That shows you something about what he means to young men and how he leads them.
We're joined by Fox NFL draft analyst Joel Klatt. Welcome back, Joel.
Good morning.
To have you.
Good to be here.
Wow.
Could you see the Browns taking Baker with the #1 pick?
I don't see that happening. So, no, I don't think Cleveland's going to go in that direction. Remember now, this organization since 2000, they've had 25 starting quarterbacks. You know,
That's a lot.
That's that's a lot, you know. And so I think that their main charge with this draft, with the selections that they've built up, the roster that they're starting to build, in particular on the defensive side, I think that they need to do everything in their power to minimize risk. Minimize risk with this first pick. And for me, the riskier selection, or the guy that has the more risk associated with him, is Baker versus Sam Darnold. So for Baker, you've got to look, he's not the prototypical size. No. He's obviously got an element of his game where he can let his emotions get the best of him. We saw that at Kansas, and he had to sit out the first series in their following contest. We've seen the fact that guys coming out of his system have struggled at times going into the National Football League. Now, we're starting to see some young quarterbacks make that transition with more success than we have in the past, but that's still a question mark. Again, that's a risk factor. And then ultimately, he is still a guy who ran away from the police on a video. Mm-hmm. That's a huge risk factor. So all of those elements lead me to believe that Sam Darnold's the safer selection for Cleveland. Sam's going to get into that locker room, and he's not going to have many problems. There's not going to be as many distractions, in particular from the media, as you would have maybe with Baker Mayfield. Plus, you've got a guy like Sam Darnold who made all of his teammates better. Remember, he didn't have the talent around him that Baker Mayfield did, and he went out there and won with the game on his shoulders. His offensive system, not nearly as intricate, not nearly as good, or as quality of a play caller as what Baker Mayfield had at Oklahoma. So for me, Darnold's the safer selection, which Cleveland desperately needs. Again, 25 starting quarterbacks since 2000. They've got to get this one right.
Before I say I agree with you, what did you think of Darnold's workout in the rain?
I loved it. I loved it. As you know, when you get shorts and a T-shirt on, you better look good, right? I mean, anybody, whether it's running backs, anybody, wide receivers, quarterbacks. And so what those workouts desperately need is some element of, disruption. And he had that. And thankfully for him, it began to rain, and heavily.
Right.
And with Mr. Haslam sitting right up in the stands, taking notes under an umbrella, he threw the ball as well as I've seen a quarterback throw the ball under that amount of rain in a long time. I mean, he had RPMs, there was velocity, it was accurate. It was very impressive. I was standing with a lot of the decision makers right there, 10, 15 feet away from Sam Darnold. And you got a lot of this, kind of looking at each other like, hey, are you seeing what I'm seeing? I think the decision and the selection was made that day at USC in the rain.
Yeah, Skip. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I like Sam Darnold. Like I said, after watching him throw the ball, I think everybody walked away impressed. Okay, under this kind of duress, under what he's going through, because he could have easily postponed and says it's raining today, but he didn't do that. Now, Skip, I love Hugh. I know Hugh a little bit. If John Dorsey had said this, who's going to ultimately make the decision on the #1 pick, then I'm like, oh, okay, wow. But I don't think, and as Joel said, the safer pick And when you go pick, you don't. I get it. You want to make a splash, Skip, but you want it to be a safe splash. And they've had far too many of these reaches. No matter, not necessarily the first pick, but they've reached a lot for guys in the first round, and it's come back to bite them. So with that being said, I believe Sam Darnold, and I believe with the way he threw the football in his pro day, cemented it for the Cleveland Browns that this is the guy that we want to lead us in the direction that we want to and need to go.
So this is just me. If, in fact, the Cleveland Browns decided while watching Sam Darnold throw in the rain that that's the reason he should be the #1 overall pick, they are all wet as usual. Because I could not care less about him throwing in the rain. I know it was gutsy and he did it for his teammates who had all prepared to be there at that moment. I get all that, but that's the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard. And I'm going to say this again about Baker Mayfield. I do not believe, and I know Hugh Jackson a little bit myself, I do not believe he was smoke screening or trying to mislead teams such as the Jets, who are picking 3rd overall in the draft, and you have projected Baker to the Jets. I believe that Hugh spoke from his heart because there is a whole bunch of Pied Piper in that little man, Baker Mayfield, and you have experienced it up close and personal in games you have covered in Norman, Oklahoma, and other places. And I will not be shocked if Cleveland shocks the world by taking Baker #1 overall. I believe that Hugh would lean in that direction. You may be right about John Dorsey leaning in the other. And obviously, because of the Johnny Manziel potential in Baker, he is a high-risk pick for that franchise.
Yes.
So now let's talk about minimizing your risk. Let's look at what actually happened last year to Sam Darnold on the football field. The first year he started, he went 31 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. He started, what was it, the second game he started in? He didn't start the first game.
The fourth game is when he ultimately got the starting job.
Okay. So, but 31 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. Last year it went 26 to 13 interceptions. And the sacks went from 6 the year before to 29. Offensive line wasn't as good. But the kid is hanging on to the football too long, trying to make a play to live up to Heisman expectations and to the expectations of his football team, which were pretty high going into the year. Last year, Sam Darnold led all of college football with 8 fumbles lost. That is on top of 5 the previous year. So he lost 13 fumbles, and so he started X games, sort of 2/3 of the season his first time around, and then all the games last year. But he lost 13 fumbles because he's just pretty careless with the football. He tries too hard. He's one of those kids who wants to run through the brick wall and throw in the rain. The makeup is great, but it can be detrimental because he becomes high risk because he's trying too hard to live up.
What if I told you that that's a 500 football team unless he had that mentality? That he had to be that risky with the football at times, or else they would not have been in football games. If he was out there just to pad his stats, he could have. He absolutely could have. But that team, 2 years ago when he started the fourth game on, their only question was quarterback. They were loaded. They had Adoree Jackson. They had a lot of good offensive linemen. They were Juju Smith. They had some talent around them. Last year, it was the exact opposite. No question about the quarterback. Questions everywhere else. I mean, everywhere else. Injuries on the offensive line. Their wide receiver core was young, small, not very good, candidly. Their offense wasn't all that unpredictable. It was very predictable in nature. You speak to all the defensive coordinators in the Pac-12, they would tell you as such. So I would argue that Sam had to play that way in order to win. To me, he made all of his teammates better, and he had to go out there and make a jump pass against Texas to win the football game. Other quarterbacks would have just taken the sack and said, no way, I'm not going to make that throw because it might look bad.
And he was great late against Texas in the overtime. You did that game, right? And yet, Texas finished, 7-6, as I recall?
Not a great team. Very good defense.
I think the thing is, Skip, is that when all these guys seem to be, it's not like a John Elway situation.
Right.
Where he's head and shoulders above the rest. You're like, okay, that's the guy, move on.
Or Andrew Luck.
Luck. Okay, Cam. But when you got all these guys that's bunched up, what separates? We got to be safe, Skip. You can't, the number one.
But you're talking about safe off the field, but on the field, do turnovers translate to the National Football League?
Yeah, they do.
Jameis Winston?
Yeah.
Still haven't.
Deshaun Watson threw a lot of interceptions. He was tearing the league up before he got injured.
To me, he had a great year. Did he stay for his
sophomore year?
So sophomore year, second to last year.
Before he left.
And then The next year was all about, I just got to get back to Alabama. And I thought he got careless with the football, like in are we there yet sort of mentality of, I don't really care about these games. I just want to get to Alabama. Was he careless with the football against Alabama in the championship game? He was not.
Yeah, if we'd had 2, we'd have got him.
Yeah, but you didn't have 2.
Yeah.
Think about the last 2 first-round selections the Browns have made at quarterback. Brandon Weeden was 28. 28. Guys, that's the oldest player ever selected in the first round. They disregarded that red flag, that risk,
Did he play
right?
pro baseball in minor?
I understand that. Yeah, and I get
So did
that.
Drew
but
Henson.
He was 28 years old. Their next first-round selection was Johnny Manziel. Loads of question marks about him, candidly, on and off the field.
No doubt.
So they did not minimize risk off the field in those question marks that you've got to go out there and present to your fan base. To me, Sam Darnold walks in. He's going to be a leader day one. He's not going to be a disruption. He's a terrific player. I love Baker Mayfield. I got him going number 3 overall to the New York Jets. I love his makeup. Not for Cleveland. Because remember, fit has a lot to do with your success at that position in the National Football League.
You really want Baker in New York?
I mean, he's the closest thing to Namath that we've seen in a long time. Is he not? I just think it's too perfect.
That's not a good thing, though.
What do you call him, Skip? Broadway Baker?
Broadway Baker or Mayfield does Manhattan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could
He would
be.
do it.
Could
Yeah, I
be.
know. That's the problem, though.
Yeah.
He would do it.
Okay, quick stat for you from the organization called Football Outsiders, which has a quarterback projection stat from college to pro called Cubase that has been pretty deadly accurate over the years.
They've been really good with that.
They've been good. So guess what? Baker Mayfield on the all-time list is the 4th overall projection to stardom in the National Football League. And it's off your college stats, and it helps the longer you start. And he started for 4 years in college football.
And some at Texas Tech before
That's
that.
what I'm saying. It all adds up to a whole bunch of college football starts at an extremely high statistical level. What was it last year? 41 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Led college football in raw QBR both years, the last 2 years. That's
in fact,
hard
set
to
a
do.
record in efficiency both his
hard to
second
do.
last year and his last year.
Did I love him late against Georgia in the semifinal? I did not. But first half he was really good. But the point is, let's go back to this list. So the list of all-timers has Phillip Rivers, Carson Palmer, Donovan McNabb. This is 1, 2, 3 on the list. Then Baker's 4, Russell Wilson's 5, Peyton Manning 6, Mariota. It's got Leftwich on here who didn't project as well, but he led the Jaguars to the playoffs one year.
Beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
He
that's
did.
right.
You know, he won a ring with the Steelers as the backup quarterback, but whatever. Then Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. That's the list, and Baker's 4th on it. These are the in order the projections from the Cubase into pro football.
You know,
Well, it's been pretty accurate.
And most of those guys did what? Played all 4 years.
That's right.
Okay, they did, and that helps. That's the Cubase stat based on that.
But normally that works against you because it's like, well, if you're that good, why are you staying all
Okay,
4
but
years?
that's the NBA mentality.
Yeah.
Right? That's my Blake Griffin argument was, wait, he stayed for 2 years? Why did he have to stay for a second year?
Right.
I fear for Baker that we've seen close to his ceiling.
Maybe.
Darnold, I can't say that. He's only played for 2 years. I think that there's even more in the tank there. His upside might be even better than Mayfield. I love both guys. The safer pick is Sam Darnold for Cleveland.
Darnold. Yeah. Where's Wentz on that? Wentz going to be, when they do that thing in 5 years, it'll be Wentz number 1.
They didn't evaluate North Dakota State.
Oh, that's
They
right.
couldn't
That's
get
right.
to Fargo.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
They
Skip.
couldn't make it there.
Wait, you talking about the Eagles' backup quarterback?
Don't do that, Skip.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.